Hello, good evening, or whatever time of the day if you're hearing us on the rewind. I'm Dr. Lawrence W. Moore of the Wayfarer Project. If that's a mouthful, you could just call me Wayfarer. Tonight, we have a bit of something special. This is one of those nights where our interest in electronic music, or music in general, but, specifically electronic music is a love here at the Wayfarer Project. That love comes together with the fact that we do enjoy films, and this film got them both. This is the film that every film student really wants to make, and as it has started off, it did start off as a student film project, and John Carpenter's first feature release after that, Dark Star, featuring John Carpenter as the producer, director, and the composer. So we have all three in one person tonight, as well as many of the people who collaborated on the film did serve in many roles. We'll talk about that a little bit. Normally, when we do this, I like to feature a little bit of the composer beforehand. But tonight we're going to try to do it in one night. I think if we ever do a feature on the music of John Carpenter overall, from his films, we'll probably do that on its own episode some week. Tonight, I think we're just going to just focus on Dark Star because otherwise it'll be a 2-week thing. And due to the length of the film, I think this is a 1-week thing, even though it is an enjoyable film and everything. Although one thing you need to know ahead of time is this was the first film, and it was a student film project, so that you could kind of like appreciate it for what it is. Well, anyway, I don't need to be talking by myself here the whole time. I'm going to just go into stealth mode here and bring on the panel. Here we go. Here's Nature Man. Hello, Mike. Wow, I'm big, you're small. What's going on here?
I don't know, man. It's all messed up.
There we go. Yes, it wouldn't be earworms if things actually went properly. Man. So,
Well, the first thing I got to say about this movie is I do have one complaint. You
yes.
you title it Dark Star. You got a ship running around
Okay.
Dark Star. Where the hell was the Grateful Dead in this movie? Non-existent. Do you not know that there's a
Oh,
song called Dark Star written by the Grateful Dead? One of
well,
their more famous songs.
the crew looked like deadheads. Yeah, I
They
guess maybe
did.
they, yeah.
I mean, somewhere in the movie they could have been listening to Dark Star, you
Yeah,
know?
instead of bossa nova. Yeah.
Right, I mean, other than that, I mean, the music was good, but yeah, no Grateful Dead. That's
I don't know if anybody
not
else
not
is hearing
acceptable.
it. I don't
I've
know if
said my
anybody
piece.
else I don't know if anybody else is hearing it, but you kind of went out for a little bit there, but then came back. So our audio
Well, you're doing the thing.
issues are back.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
In and out, in and out.
we need to bring on the lady,
Yes, we
and
do.
so here we have
Star of the show.
Liza Sahito from Psyche Opera. So here is our chief mod, Liza Sahito. She's the one that flashes your chats up. So Please engage in the chat, and Liza will share your
Yay.
thoughts with us.
Sorry, folks. My audio is coming in and out, and I can't hear half of what you say most of
Okay,
the time.
well, just wing it.
Well, just wing it. Well, I would like to take a moment, Mike and
Yeah.
Lawrence, to find out who in the chat recommended this movie to Lawrence. Who in the chat? Was it you, Scott? Was
Now
it
you cut out.
you, Eraserhead, Flab? I want to know. Because I would have rather have been talking about Amadeus, which was the first movie we watched for this week.
Well, that is something that is going to come up in the future. I just need a little more time because I need to. I want to be able to also make it. Well, it'll have to be a two-parter because of the length, but also I want to make it a thing about the music of Mozart.
Scott says, no, I said the thing. The thing.
The thing.
Yeah, yeah. The
Oh,
thing.
yeah. The thing. Well, that's another option. I mean, hey, the future is open. The thing could come. And as well as the fog, can come at some point. And I think They Live will happen at some point too.
Look, why
I think
can't we leave those movies to Adam Gray
Well,
and
because
his
these are not
family?
public domain yet.
Oh, they should be. So they could all end
Oh,
up on
no,
B-sides.
no, man, don't do that. The chat's going to be upset with you.
Be mad at me, chat. Whomever,
well, I
I
think the culprit
swear to
here, we all
God.
know his name's Lawrence.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes. So it was you
Well,
who picked this movie.
yeah, well, I guess I'm the final decision, and so that's what happened. It got
I
picked.
think the culprit is
It got
right in
picked.
your house.
Well, the
Yeah.
captain is the one who takes the hit, you
Well,
know?
guess what? Here we go. I called up the slides, and on our top slide, we have an indication for playing some media. So we have a clip to play.
Oh no.
And so we that means let me load up said clip and we'll play it. But anyway, Bryanston Pictures. And that's something that Mike said would have been useful to know when he saw the film this week for the first time. Is that this was John Carpenter's student film project, and it was basically extended and made into his
I would have liked
first.
to know that before watching the movie.
Yeah, it would have been
I
helpful.
was just so upset
I thought
throughout.
it was obvious.
It was not obvious. Ay, 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 Bayona, don't even bother. Just watch us today and you won't have to. Okay? All right.
Okay, well, here we go. This is the
Here
first
we
thing
go.
you see when you start the movie. And remember, tonight we are going to have to be careful about copyright. So the clips are going to be a little bit short and stuff. I'm not going to use the bot condom that we tried for a while because it didn't work. But anyway, hopefully they don't copyright us for playing a logo. Oh, yeah.
We get copyrighted for this film. Oh my god.
I think that's the best, film studio logo ever. Isn't that something special? I tell you. I didn't even know that they actually had sounds like that in
Special.
74, to be honest with you. So anyway, okay. Yeah, it sounded like a festival of video game stuff being played right at you there, but man, for 74, that's pretty good. The film actually was started in 72 as a student film project, but 74 is when it was released as a feature-length film. And that's Bryanston Pictures. I don't know any background about them, but in any case, many graphics like this are in the film. Some great vintage computer graphics, the kind of stuff that you could only do back then. Attention, and there's an incoming transmission, incoming communications. And Oh man, this is an awesome font. Earth base.
Oh yeah, really, really out there.
To
All in
Starship
caps.
Dark Star. Hmm. And they even actually list there where it's at in galactic sector. I mean, that way the post office can get it there. If you don't say what sector it's in, it doesn't get there. So anyway, I guess it's one of John Carpenter's buddies at UFC or something like that. But anyway, this guy from Earth has sent this message to Dark Star. They're out exploring the galaxy. Well, actually doing some work. We'll check with that in a moment. But anyway, this basically it was pretty cool. The way this is delivered because it sounded like kind of like a bit of a bureaucratic military guy just saying, well, we're glad to hear from you. It's been 10 years since the last transmission. So it gives you an idea how far out they are. They're really far out there. It takes 10 years for transmissions to get through. Um, and we'll see later they have hyperdrive. That's how that happened. But, mention some other things. Sorry to hear about the death of Commander Powell, who will be coming up later. Basically, the commander of the mission had died at this point. And you also hear here he refused their request for some radiation shielding. And basically, they don't want to send a cargo ship out there to reach and catch up with Dark Star. And that would be too expensive. And funds are limited, the same old stuff. So basically, you get the idea. They're out there, they lost their commander, and despite what he says about flying the half mast for losing the commander and all that, they don't want to pay money to do any upgrades to the ship. So the ship's out there and falling apart, basically, is the way it is. So anyway, but cool moment, some interference there, but they get the signal back and he's basically saying goodbye. It was delivered well. Nice little speech from whoever this actor is. I feel like it's a solo project tonight. No commentary from any of my fellow
Are you hearing
earworms
me?
here. I hear you now.
Oh, okay, good. Because I've said a few
The
things.
audio is coming in and out.
Oh, man,
I
I
That's
don't
didn't
why I
know
hear
was
what's
anything.
going
wondering.
on
That's
with
why I've
EV
been
Mug
kind of sitting
again.
here quiet. I'm like, are they hearing
I
me?
could always hear what's happening backstage somewhat. I think.
I think we got to do this to make sure that we know when each other's talking. We got to say at 10:04, at the end of everything we say, maybe go, something like that, a little CB noise.
I don't want to say 10-4. I have to say that at work.
You do?
Yeah. There's
Wait,
no.
I can't hear Mike now.
Uh-oh.
That's not a 10-4.
Mike's mic is not working.
I hear you, Mike.
Mike.
Don't worry. I hear
I
you,
see
Mike.
his avatar moving, but
Yes.
Oh, Beans, try this. Switch to a different tab and then come back to this tab and then see if you hear Mike. That's what I have to do for you. I've already done it twice tonight.
okay.
Talk about end
Okay.
communication.
End communication.
Yes.
Dark Star.
I'm sorry, I'm not reading you, Mike. No, I do hear you now, Mike.
Hello.
Let's see if Liza does. So anyway, to scout ship Dark Star. Okay, there we go. Excellent fonts. And this is where we see the Dark Star coming into view. And
number 2.
video clip number 2. So let
Number
me load
2.
that up. So do you hear Mike now, Liza? Did that work for you to switch out?
Hello.
I hear him now, but I didn't switch tabs. I'm
Right,
trying
right.
to load a new tab.
You're
It
bloody
won't
well
do
right.
it.
You
Well,
got a bloody right to
I'm
say.
just gonna.
I think we
I'm
might
gonna get
have
out and come
to
back
try
in.
some other streaming software out. It's 25
Yeah,
bucks
we
a
weren't
month
having
for
problems
this.
till last week or the week before?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's cutting in and out.
There's things I really like about EV Mux, but can't have this. This whole those guys on earworms sure can't hear each other.
It's a little problematic.
All right, here we go. So, clip 2. I'm gonna pause it. Oh no, we're at the end here. We're at the end of this sequence. I was gonna pause, but there we go. So that's the Dark Star. That's a cool looking spaceship. I mean, come on, remember student film. Um, you know, and actually, in 1974, the over the course of the years, from student film projects starting in 72 to 74, this cost $60,000. Now in
Wow.
74, that was good money. But still, for a film in general, I guess that would be, I don't know. I have no head for how the inflation works. I just know in 74 that would have been good money for like anybody to earn as a living. That was certainly very good. That's like CEO or executive class
Probably half of it
income.
went to the composer.
Yeah. Well, that is John Carpenter. He's the one that made the film. So yeah, he's the producer, director, and composer. It's basically his project, and he had some other people working with him at acting and also serving in other roles. We'll see that when we get to the credits. But the music, the incidental music on the synthesizer was cool. You could tell that it's like, it's not virtuosic or anything, but it fit the movie and it had the style. And I looked it up. I wanted to see what synthesizer he used, and turns out he doesn't even remember what synthesizer he used. I read an
Oh
interview,
my.
and he doesn't even know what it was. He says it was a modular synthesizer. He doesn't remember which one, but he had to put like pins in it. He had to stick pins in it to get like some things to work at times. So yeah, I guess it was like already getting fairly old at that point. But if it was a Moog, or at the time also a popular synth was like an ARP Odyssey. If he had something like that, like the Mini Moog or an ARP Odyssey, he would have known. So this was probably,
Maybe it
maybe.
was a Moog
Well, he would have
and
known if
not a
he had a
Moog.
Moog. Oh, a Moog. Yeah, Chinese knockoff.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, he was on a budget. Got it at a garage sale.
I don't know that he purchased it. It might have been at USC in the music lab or something.
He
I don't know.
wiped
I didn't look that
a
up.
bunch of hippies.
I didn't look that up. But the whole thing is like, at least he said in an interview, it's like, I don't even remember what I used, but it was on its
Because they were
last
probably
legs,
all
I guess.
tripping.
So anyway, we are going to move on with the slides here. That's how it started. I mean, that thing was, gracefully coasting by there, man. That was cool. So anyway, we saw what, there we are. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I have a second.
Here we are.
Clip 3 is already here. So we might as well watch the damn movie. But we can't, YouTube really punishes us hard whenever we go
I think your
overboard.
wife would punish you harder if we watched the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I'm into some filmmakers that she's not really into, like also Wes Anderson. I dig Wes Anderson films, but she's like, not really. But anyway. Oh, wait a minute. I just clicked it off.
I see Mike's avatar moving, but I don't hear Mike.
Uh-oh.
Ugh. Sorry,
Damn it.
Mike.
But did you try that where you go into a different browser tab and then come back?
Yeah, it won't load. There's something going on. I don't know.
You know, it's no fun to pick on your husband if you're not there to hear it.
He just said that it's no fun to pick on me if you're not here to hear it.
I know, right?
But whenever I
Mike.
don't hear
I will try to
somebody,
fix this.
when I don't hear someone on the stream, all I have to do is click another tab in the browser and then come right back to this tab, and then I can hear you again.
The other tab won't load. I don't
It's
know
like
what's going
sticking
on.
pins into a synthesizer to get it to work. That's what it is with EV Mug.
Oh
That's
wait,
how-
there's Mike. There's Mike again.
There's Mike.
Okay.
Well, you're right.
This. Oh, Mike.
Oh
Okay.
God, bless Scott there in the chat, because every week he's here listening to people. I don't hear Mike. Mike, where are you? It's like I'm watching this stream. These people can't hear each other.
Look at all the sympathy likes.
Yeah. All right, there we go. That's some communication right there.
Now that's a movie, Flav, for sure.
What was that again? I still can't hear you. I said I'm trying to reach Talby.
What movie is Flav recommending? Liza,
Galaxy Quest.
Oh, Galaxy Quest. Oh, yes, we got to do that at some point. Okay, well, anyway, here we go. You could hear the radio interference. Good job on the radio interference. So anyway, I just thought I'd include that because that was a pretty cool sound effect. But there we go. Is basically this guy here, the boy in the bubble. We have a boy in the bubble. Well, a man in a bubble. And that man in the bubble is known as Talby. So Talby, they all have just last names in this thing. So you get to know the last names and you're good. Except for Pinback, who's also known as Bill Frug at one point, whatever. But anyway, Talby's in the bubble. That's his observation deck. Just so you know, this is smaller than you think. I looked at it. I thought it was like an R2-D2 thing on the back of an X-Wing. But no, this ship is much bigger than that. This little bubble thing is, you can't really see it at this point from that view. So just, proportion, just some scaling there, just so you know. So Talby's in the bubble. That's where he likes to hang out. And he's basically being informed they're about to drop a bomb because that's what they do in space. They basically drop bombs on unstable planets so that there's no unstable planets out there, just stable ones for colonization. Ask no further questions. That's what they do. And there we go. So, what's going on now? I mean, the cockpit, well, it's not a cockpit, I guess, because there's no windows to see out. It's just kind of like a crowded little, I don't know, pit. And this is the bomb below the ship. The bombs get lowered out like that, and the bombs talk to you. I mean, basically, you radio to the bomb. That's this guy here, Pinback. Sergeant Pinback is communicating with the bomb. He's saying, all right, do you hear me, bomb? Bomb says, yep, I can hear you. And it sounds just like that. The bomb has a very witty voice. I can hear you. And Pinback's like, okay, are you ready to go? It's like, yep, I'm all ready. In detonation in 7 minutes or whatever. The bomb's ready to go. So we got talking bombs. I think at that point, that was probably the first strike with Liza. Talking bombs.
Well, I mean, was this supposed to be a parody for 2000 or something?
2001, you mean?
No.
What?
Oh, yes, it was
I
2001,
thought the bomb
was
was a
it?
Starr
Yes.
movie.
Oh, okay, hold on. Was it 2000 or 2001?
2001.
2001. Okay.
A Space
The
Odyssey.
Space Odyssey. Because there's a lot of dead air, like in that movie, and just strange. I thought that it was at first it was a parody. That's what I was thinking at first. I was like, they're trying to be funny.
Well-
This is a parody but you did not tell me that this was a student film. So I mean, you told me after the fact, and I was like, oh, okay, that explains a lot of things. But
I mean,
um,
you didn't. I mean, you didn't gather that it was a student film.
no, I didn't. I thought it. I thought it
Nobody
was.
did.
I thought it was some parody that fell flat. That's what I thought.
Well, I mean, it did kind of with audiences because it was released. I mean, remember, it started as a student film, and then it was after graduation. It was built into something more, and it became a feature-length film by the end of it in '74, and then it was released. And the critics didn't have a problem with the critic. It actually did okay with critics because
Of
I
course
guess
it
they know the
did.
background. It came from a student film, and it's kind of cool. And they were fine with it, but and it was kind of artsy. I mean, we're going to get into some of the philosophy and
No,
reasoning that comes later.
when you told me that it was a student film, having been a student artist and knowing what type of people students have to please, I know. I understand now. But
Okay.
this should have been rewritten before prime time.
But it
And
wasn't.
they needed to really lean in more as a parody to 2001. Maybe they needed, if they wanted to be
Well,
silly funny, they had to go way harder on the Monty Python style type uh,
well,
comedy
Well, I
and
think
really lean
it's
into
1974.
2001.
They were all stoned in the
Maybe,
audience. It was a comedy.
yeah. I mean it. I mean that's the thing. I mean,
uh,
yeah, you might say that I mean, it is described as a parody film. That's its genre, parody and satire. But I think it's parody on sci-fi movies in general, more so than specifically 2001. Although there are elements that do refer to 2001 because there is a computer in this film, and although it doesn't parallel that whole dynamic with the computer kind of like going insane and what happens in 2001. I mean, they're much more talkative in this. It's not like 2001, and obviously the effects are meant to be kind of like, all right, we got a low budget, so let's yeah, let's embrace that. Is really how it was carried off. But
no, I get it. I get it. The thing is, they continue to lean too hard into the art film side of it,
really,
and yeah, they really needed to lean more into the comedy parody side of it. And that would have made a low budget. I mean, look what Monty Python was able to do with a low budget.
well, art film, I don't know, man. To me, I got more of like stoner film than art film, and I know there's a
Same
fine line.
It is out of
thing,
California,
same
right?
Yes, yes, it
thing.
is. It is.
Yeah, there
Not
you go.
necessarily. There's art films where it's like, I mean, it doesn't come. There are art films that are just like definitely much more cold and abstract than this. You know, I mean, this is not abstract or cold at all. It's just stoners, and they also at the same time do have some pretty cool thoughts, like you can obviously get, like the philosophical discussion. We're going to have that at the end between the bomb and Doolittle.
That would have worked if it were John Cleese doing that, but
Oh,
not this
Jesus
guy.
Christ.
No.
Well, John Carpenter didn't have access to John Cleese at that.
Well,
Well, they should have found someone who could have done it.
ladies
I'm
and
sure there
gentlemen, Liza gives us 3 thumbs down.
Although in '74, I think that when did Monty Python get their start? I mean, I don't know.
Wait, let
It
me
was
do.
definitely
I will.
it was
Search it.
'70s, but I don't know if '74 if they were running yet.
72.
'72? Well, that was all right. Then look it up, folks.
Well, as
and
the Flying Circus,
Accordion.
I believe.
1969,
oh,
according
okay.
to Wikipedia. But Wikipedia could be wrong. And then AI says 1970.
No, it was 1969. You're right. Maybe
The Year of
72 was
Love,
the last year.
the Summer of Love.
It only ran a few years. Yeah. No, that's 1967.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the Summer of Love. 69 was Woodstock.
Well, I was born in '74,
Oh.
so
Maybe we
that
should
was.
do Woodstock. There's a lot of good music in that
Ooh.
film.
You mean like the concert?
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I guess.
It was. I didn't even know it was documented.
Copyright
Mike.
infringements flying everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure, Tonya.
We have Pete
Yeah.
Townsend on the phone.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, John Cleese definitely was getting going then, and so
He could
Yeah,
have
be
done the
careful, you might have mentioned
phenomenology
his
thing.
name sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not. Well, Monty Python was like the start, pretty much. Guys just out of college, so. But anyway, here we are. Yeah, so this is their. I mean, it's not a cockpit, as you see. It's more like a crowded cram fest of like some sort of pit. I don't know what we'll call it. We'll just call it the control room. But anyway, there's the bomb. It's about to be dropped. That is it separating from the vehicle. So that's not it exploding. That's it separating the vehicle. And it's being dropped down on the planet. And they basically blow up a planet. And in order to do that safely, they need to hyperdrive away. And so you get all these cool graphics. I mean, this was a great thing about it is you got these graphics that brought back memories about how my computer screen looked back then, playing like some games and stuff. But yeah, there we go. That's the readout about the bomb, and there's the planet getting blown up, and then they got to hyperdrive away.
Oh, Mike.
What?
No, Mike.
Apparently, I'm the oldest.
And the guys in the
the
chat.
feud.
You are the wisest of all, Mike.
Oh shit!
Well, I was born in 74, so I think this is what my parents had on their mind when I was conceived.
Gosh,
No,
baby of the bunch.
No, that's Liza.
Maybe they had nothing better to do during this movie.
All right, folks. So this is Doolittle, who we see
You
here.
were conceived during Dark Star.
Yes.
Oh, that explains a lot of things,
Caught
Mike.
at the drive-in.
A lot of things, Mike.
All right.
That's me, sassy.
All righty. So just some
Mike.
faces here, so you know when I refer to him later. This is
Oh,
Doolittle. He's the guy that took over when Powell died, and this is Boiler, who is just there. But anyway, these are the guys on the ship. We got Talby in the bubble. We got Pinback, Doolittle, and Boiler. And so they're I forget what they were saying at this point, but it's basically readouts from the bomb. And then I think Boiler was saying something about the Horsehead Nebula because they're trying to figure out where they're going to go next because that's their job. They go from solar system to solar system, blowing up unstable planets. And here he's like talking about the Horsehead Nebula and mentions there's maybe intelligent life there. Because this is not the Enterprise. This is not the Enterprise where they're going out looking for new life forms of life and new civilizations. They're there as a wrecking crew to get rid of unstable planets.
And they enjoy it.
Well, they look kind of bored later with their jobs. But anyway, wait a minute.
They seem to like blowing shit up. The rest of the time, they're bored.
Alrighty. Yeah, well, I have...
Oh, we got Barbara Lawrence in the chat. I'm in
no.
trouble.
Babs. I mean, she's someone that could probably tell us a lot about this film.
Yes.
She could. I mean, but...
She probably came on to rebuke us. Actually, yeah. Sorry, Barbara. We said a lot of mean things about B-sides.
You're in trouble now.
I didn't say anything about B-sides.
We did.
I didn't say anything about B-sides.
No, you just said, no, Liza just said that this film looks like something for B-sides. And I said,
it was me.
Well,
Barbara.
they do public domain films, but no, Barbara and Adam likes this film. And I'm sure Barbara probably likes it too. So,
Barbara, I was mad at Adam because I thought he had recommended this film to Lawrence.
Yeah, the only mean stuff said tonight was pretty much about me because I liked the film.
Adam Gray is here to defend his honor.
All right.
Adam. If at any point, Adam, you want to come on and set us straight about a few things, you're welcome to. Just let us know in the chat, and Liza will tell me to do it. I'll send you a link. But anyway, let's play some stuff here.
Have some music in here, Boiler. Sure thing.
Now, we're about to hear the theme of the film. Now, this actually was written by John Carpenter. In addition to the synthesizer stuff, he also wrote this. Lyrics by Bill Taylor, who also worked in special effects. So here we go. Benson, Arizona.
sunshine down, but I see only one. When I think I'm over you, I find I've just begun. The years move faster than the days, there's no warmth in the light. And how I miss those desert skies, your cool touch in the night.
Now, let me go back there a second. Also, it's probably good for copyright for me to break this up a little bit and not play it straight. Let's see
We don't
here.
want to get a strike for this movie. Please, no.
If you're going to go down, there was something I was going to point out. It says starring here. Oh no, they don't have his name there. It comes up later in the credits, which we have on the slides. But the co-writer was David O'Bannon, who also plays Pinback in this. I was going to point it out.
Miss those desert skies, your cool touch in the night. Benson, Arizona, blue warm wind through your hair. My body flies.
There we go. Dan. I said David. All right. No, wait a minute. No, that's it. That is it.
You said David.
Yeah. Dan O'Bannon. There we go. He plays Pinback. Also worked in some of the sound effects as well, and is a co-writer. So it was John Carpenter and Dan O'Bannon that wrote the film, and Dan O'Bannon got the star in it, and Carpenter did music, and there was Bill Taylor also writing lyrics. So it's like college people like hanging out doing some magical stuff. Must have been fun.
Sees my heart longs to be there.
In Arizona.
Benson, Arizona, the same stars in the sky, but they seem so much kinder when we watch them, you and I.
Alrighty, so that's about as much as I felt I could play without, getting the copyright gods all upset. So
They'll
there we
probably catch
go,
you later.
Benson, Arizona. I mean, you can search that on YouTube and find that song easily. It's a cool tune. I wish I could play it in its entirety, but YouTube would not like it. Not like it at all. Now, what is going on? I'm trying to click on things here. That's one thing. I don't know if I haven't been able to check out B-sides the past few weeks with work and all that and getting tired. I don't know if you guys are still using EV Mux over there, but we may not be for much longer.
No.
All right, here we are. So the slides go ahead. So anyway, there's Boiler, and this is where they're talking about the Horsehead Nebula. At first, I misunderstood. I thought that, oh, no, that's right. The theme music's still going. But anyway, at first, I thought they were bombing planets with intelligent life, but I misunderstood. It's unstable planets. But anyway, here's your credits. All the credits are in the first credit roll. They don't have credits at the end. So let's see here. There's our stars in the sky. And here we have sound effects. I read that Bill Taylor also worked on some sound effects as well. The guy that did the lyrics for Benson, Arizona. But I don't see him in the list there. But as you see, it's good. The sound effects are good when you have a cutter. You see there's Nick. Nick's the cutter. Because that means they're cutting tape. And that means you got some cool sound effects when you cut tape.
Oh my God. I never
You
got
need
around
that.
to having to cut tape. Wow.
I'm sorry, Liza. That was one of those moments where I wasn't hearing you. I had to click out of a tab and come back in again.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Can Mike hear me? Is Mike
I hear you.
is Mike
Shit.
hearing?
Anytime,
never
folks.
mind.
Anytime, folks, you hear me talking over Liza, it's because I can't hear her. Evie Mux.
I used to remember going to these experimental electronic music conferences and being the youngest one there and people making fun of me because I had never cut tape. It's like, oh yeah, you've never cut tape. You're such a youngling. It's like, coño.
Well, that's when you say
I've never cut tape.
I've never cut tape, but I've cut some shit this morning.
What? No,
Whoa.
that wouldn't have impressed him at all.
Well, having a girl say it to him.
Ay, ay.
All right, here we go. All right, so we move on, and we got a boy in the bubble there, Talby, hanging out, kind of doing the R2D2 thing, but once again, consider scale here. This bubble's much smaller on the ship than it may appear. That is not R2D2 size. Move along, move along. There we go. And we're going to find out more about Talby and why he likes to sit there as we go.
Oh, Scott,
Boy in the bubble.
Scott cut tape. Scott, you're
I
in the
broke
club,
tape.
Scott.
I've-
You're in the club, Scott.
I've broken cassette tapes.
Well, so have I. But
I've done that.
I sort of got some cred back when I told him I had a Tascam Porta Studio 4-track. That was still before my time, but I used it.
I had one too.
Yeah.
But mine was, there was different looks to them. I remember mine was a 424. It was beige. It was beige.
Mine was of the blue variety.
Yeah.
Yes. I
So
still have it.
anyway,
Yeah.
I'll be hanging out there with a bubble. All right. And yes, directed by, music by, yes, and direction and production. Everything John Carpenter, basically. He even would have acted in it if he didn't have to be behind the, directing. So anyway, I don't know if the theme music is over yet, but basically they get into talking, as I said, about the Horsehead Nebula because it's about going to the next place and blowing up more. That's it. That's what they do, and that is probably something that's also in parallel with other stuff that comes up later, like the bombs. Their main reason for existence is just to blow up. These guys, their main reason to be in space is just to blow things up too, using the bombs. There we go. And now I don't know if this is basically something where the shadow is covering the other half of the ship, or if the ship really just has, kind of like one side to it. I'm not sure, but in any case, that's the look of the Dark Star from behind. And yes, I'm taking too long with the credits. Come on, let's move along. Move along. All right, so here we go. Doolittle has his log where he's basically keeping a log, and I guess it might get transmitted or it might be found later by some alien civilization that discovers the ship. But anyway, he's keeping his log and he's talking about, where they're going next in 17 hours, I think it was. They're going to be in the Bale Nebula. That's where they're going to blow up their next planet. And Pinback whispers something in his ear, and so Doolittle has to mention in his log that unfortunately, Powell died, and Pinback was sitting next to him, and Pinback's kind of like, still feeling it because, the problem hasn't been fixed yet, so it's like, this could happen again. I could die too. And it doesn't feel good sitting in a chair next to someone who dies. So Pinback has to mention that. Pinback has some issues, as we'll see. Oh, let's look at this. Now we have some more. Let's play video number 6. Load her up. Where are we? 6. And we have 6 right here, serving it up. There we go. That's about as much as I can play of that. Here we go. So we'll find out later that Doolittle is a surfer, and he likes it surfing. Doolittle from Malibu.
It's surf music.
Yep. I mean, it's not the Grateful Dead, but it's close.
No, it's not the Grateful Dead. You had to bring that back up.
All right. Maybe we should. Let's do this. Let's do this real quick.
There is a Grateful Dead movie too.
Oh, yeah?
Is there, Mike?
What is
Oh
it?
yeah, from
What is it?
1974, the
Oh.
same year as this. At the
I don't know if anybody
Winterland.
else.
It starts
could you
off
say
with
that
some really
again?
bitchin' animation, actually.
Could you say that again? You went out for a
I
little.
said I went out for a little while. I just
Yeah.
mentioned the Grateful Dead had a movie that was made in 1974 at the Winterland in San Francisco.
Okay.
And the first, 10 minutes of it is some really cool animation. And then they cut into the concert. It was their farewell. They took 1975 off.
So you said Grateful Dead did a song called Dark Star.
But I don't know. I don't know if we have any other Deadheads. It might be a slow week. Yes, they did. It was a long song.
Maybe
But-
they tried to license it
when you-
and couldn't.
Well, I'm going to put a poll up here. Should it have been in the film? Well, I may not have said it like
It's
grammatically
like
correct.
a 20-minute song.
But there we go. There's a poll. Well,
There you
20
go.
minutes. That could have been like during the elevator scene. We'll see. All right. So anyway, we see computer room here, and this is awesome.
That would have cost them money. That's why they didn't do it.
Yeah.
But this computer room, it's very cool looking and everything. Oh man, that brings back memories of some video games too. So anyway, that's our computer. That's basically their version of HAL, but it's a lady. It's a lady computer. And the computer's telling them something like, I think, there's some asteroids coming. And she's telling them to get ready for it. She interrupted their surf music. And so they have to put up the shields, and that's how the shields look. So by that point, we have had Star Trek, and there were shields in Star Trek, but we didn't see them. These guys are giving us a bonus where you can actually see the shields. So there we go. They're red. And the shields work on them too. So they got shielding on them inside the control room there. So
Man, I wonder what they use for compositing. I can't even imagine. I mean, this was all done with film, right?
that's what they had back then, Beans.
Well, like I'm saying, like cutting and layering films. They didn't have computers to do any of this, right?
Well, I mean, I think some of there were computers, but I don't know. I don't know how much they could do with effects with computers then. They might have been able to composite
I mean, we got digital effects in.
I was only born in '74. I mean, I didn't see any
Let me
studios at that time.
We got Terry Riley's Shri Kamel, which used digital delay on an organ at this time.
Well, that's why I said Adam Gray, if he wants to join us, he can, because he would actually have an answer to your question.
Yeah.
Maybe he's in the chat, or Barbara can tell us.
He was just
Barbara's
passing through.
in the chat.
I'm pretty sure it's all film, is what I'm thinking. I know that there were computers back then, not personal computers, but there were computers, but I don't know how much they were used in anything in films. So anyway, that all looks kind of drawn to me. To be
Yeah, it
honest.
is. Yeah, looking at it again, it could just be animation. Yeah.
And so
Likely.
this is the asteroid field, but the asteroid came with some green zigzags and stuff too. So there we go. That's the Dark Star going through that.
Wait,
I mean,
Barbara wants the question again.
um, well, you asked it, so go ahead.
My question is, Barbara, was this done by layering film, or did they have some type of computer technology to do some of this compositing? I don't know. I know nothing of this time period in film. Zero.
And I'm saying it's film, and it looks drawn to me. But I mean, definitely for a student film. Well, I guess some of this may have come later, um, because it came between 72 and 74. More was added and it was expanded. So maybe there was more of a budget then, but I figured some of this stuff, you know, would have been expensive, like especially for a student project. Oh,
Oh
we
no,
have another clip.
okay, correction guys. No, Shri Kamel came out in 1980, so yeah.
Yeah, just so you know, folks, we're composers, and
Well,
that's
I'm just trying to bring the two timelines. I know the music timeline and when digital effects and computer stuff started becoming a part of composition,
yeah.
but I don't know when that happened in
Well,
film. So I'm just trying to bring the two worlds
at
together.
this time, like some of the logo at the beginning, Bryanston Pictures, that logo, that was digital, that was computers. There were computers the size of rooms at these universities where people would bring punch cards and basically compose music by punch cards, um, with these computers the size of rooms, and it would be outputted onto analog tape.
Barbara says film layers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It looked pretty drawn to me.
Okay.
Now, some of this,
Were
yeah.
there digital synthesizers at the time?
Yes, that's what I was saying. There were digital synthesizers the size of rooms that operated on punch cards. I know Stanford had one. Now, this was USC that John Carpenter went to, but Stanford had one. And then in the East, Princeton had one. I know other schools probably did too, but those are the ones that I know of where, composers at the time would bring punch cards and basically have music composed that way, and it would be rendered out on tape. So if you made a mistake, you
Oops.
found out on the tape. That's why they composed music where it didn't. You couldn't tell if there was mistakes. That's why they did that. All right, here we go. So anyway, this is the asteroid field here, and what's happening is bomb number 20, who we're going to get to know in this film. Bomb number 20 has been triggered. It's coming out, even though it's not the right time. So I thought I'd play that a little bit because that was actually a pretty cool sequence. I mean, you hear that the synth playing. Now that was an analog synth. Now, once again, John Carpenter doesn't remember what synth it was used for this, but he said he had to use pins in it to get it to work right. So that was an analog synth, but like the logo at the beginning, that Bryanston, that was like digital, I could tell. So anyway, digital or analog kind of came together a little bit here. There we go, computer room. So the computer is actually informing the bomb that, hey,
Alex Petty music is in the chat, my
Alex
friends.
Petty.
Alex,
we need you.
hello.
We need
Yes,
you,
yes,
Alex.
we do.
For those of you who don't know, Alex Petty.
Hail out.
And you can find him on YouTube at Alex Petty Music.
Yes.
Great music, great guitarist and
Excellent.
vocalist. And
Excellent music.
he also
Excellent.
did research. And the research was on diffractalization. nature's fractals, and also how that applies to frequencies utilized in music. Um, and he contacted me about a year ago, I think is when he reached out to me and showed me that stuff. And I think it's about time he comes on Earworms one of these weeks. I emailed you, Alex, so get back to me. We need you to
Yes.
come on. We'd like you to talk about
Hello, Alex.
your research, and you could share a little music as well.
Sure, a lot of his music. Come
Yeah,
on and play some.
Please.
yeah, it's
Yes.
just the
Let's go.
expression says share a little music, that's just an expression. So anyway, here's bomb number 20, and the computer's telling Bomb, you need to get back in there. And the Bomb's like, no, I'm not doing that. Of course, he says it differently, but he's like saying, my programming says it's time for me to, come on out. I'm following orders. And the computer's like, no, this is not the right time. I've experienced some damage and stuff, and it's these asteroids. You better get back in there, Bomb. And the Bomb's like, nevertheless, I am going to explode. But she was able to convince the Bomb to go back in. And at least this time, she was able to convince the Bomb to go back in. And the Bomb goes back in. And there's this Bomb's going to be coming back. This Bomb's going to be coming back. A couple times. He'll be coming back. And we see here, caution, laser. This is the laser that also has some issues. Remember, the ship has some issues, and the people on Earth didn't want to help out. They didn't want to send a cargo ship out. It'd take, it could have hyperdrive and all that, but it was the cost. The cost is the problem, not the time. It's the cost. So they didn't want to help out, and so there's things going wrong here. That's a communications laser. It's broken. Or it's just not working right, kind of like EV mucks, kind of like us. And, it tends to drive one insane. And these guys are insane too. And I know how they feel. So here they are. They just completed their task. They got to wait till they get to the next bombing location. And on the way there, they were mentioning how, one guy was mentioning how, like, I remember when the living quarters were blown up or the sleeping quarters were blown up, and I was in like the food locker or something at the time. So that's why they had to convert their food storage locker into their sleeping quarters, because that got blown up. So you get this whole feeling that things are, falling apart there. This ship isn't in too good a shape. And there's their room. It's also not in too good a shape. That's the college dorm room there. So anyway, there's Boiler's spot on the left. Got pinned back in the back. As appropriate, he's pinned back. And Doolittle on the right. And once again, I'm on my own. It's just me talking to myself about this film. And yes,
We should have done Amadeus. I told him.
Yes. It was an evil plot. Me and Liza plot these long gaps just to freak you out, man. Look at that. They're smoking. Wow. This is not a very politically correct
Oh
movie.
gosh.
Ugh, smoking. Oh,
It
I
Not
was the
at all.
70s. It was the 70s, baby.
Where's my warning on the screen? Maybe smoking. Oh, shit.
Alex, I think you're gonna end up throwing your guitar at the screen if you watch this movie. Yeah. I don't know.
So anyway,
Yeah.
we have a clip to play.
It has no Grateful Dead in it.
Every time I switch scenes, I gotta click out of a tab and go back in. All right, here we go. So, pin back, what are you gonna do?
For your listening enjoyment, we now present the Moonlight Melodies of Martin Segundo and the Scintilla Strings.
Martin Segundo and the Scintilla Strings. And here's the name of the song.
Our first selection is the perennial favorite, When Twilight Falls on NGC 891.
Oh, smoke rings.
something tells me that the surfing music was a selection they chose, and the bossa nova was a selection that the computer chose. Something just tells me that. But that might have been a spot to play like some Grateful Dead. So anyway, I'm switching back to my slides, folks. So there we go. I just thought you
Yes.
might want to
Yeah.
hear some bossa nova. I thought maybe our audience would like to hear a little bossa nova. Boiler decides he's gonna do that challenge. I'll just call it a challenge where you basically stab a knife in between your fingers and try not to hit them, and that's what he's doing. Somewhat, perhaps a disturbed thing to engage in. And there is Pinback putting on some glasses, and he decides to, yeah. Well, Boiler and Pinback have different senses of humor. There we go. Boiler is not into the dangly eye thing, so poor Pinback is upset. All right, so here we go. Doolittle is more of like a, on his own, a thinking guy, just doing some thinking, and Pinback comes over to him and drops out a rubber chicken. And I mentioned Eliza when we saw this rubber chicken thing. It's like, that's something you don't hear about too much anymore, rubber chickens.
It's disgusting.
I don't know. I guess that's a thing of the past, the 70s and 80s. The younger generation today is not into the rubber chicken thing. Well, neither is Doolittle. He heads out, and he's going to show you his hobby here in a moment. And this is a pretty cool part of the movie.
Bayona, I think it was 74. It's 74, right?
74. Well, that's when it was released. Remember, this is a film project going back to 72. And over those years, it was extended more and more, for the non-college release. So anyway, we have here like a structure holding a bunch of bottles filled with liquid, I think water, and Doolittle's filling up one of the jugs of water there. And this is a musical instrument, completely appropriate for earworms, I believe. And I think, where's my cue?
Would have
There
been
it
more
is.
convincing if they showed something hitting the bottles, though.
Well, he did hit it with a mallet to tune it, as you see right there. But when he plays the keyboard thing, it didn't. You don't see the mechanisms to hit the bottles. So that's true. You don't see that, but you could just imagine it.
But this is no longer a student film. I mean, no.
Well, we're going to hear it anyway. Now, just so you know, folks, the idea is you're supposed to imagine that these are bottles. They're really not. It's actually a synthesizer playing. But synthesizers are cool too.
Well, they could have had the guy playing a synthesizer.
In fact, this is sounding to me like early digital synthesis.
How do you know?
Because I've heard sounds like that before, like from John Chowning, like some FM sounds and stuff. Hold on. All right. I have to look something up because, I got to get this kind of stuff right. John Chowning's first article on FM synthesis. Let's see if we can find out when that was. Of course, AI doesn't have any answer about that because it's not their thing.
Scott says he agrees with you.
Oh, here it is. No, it's not 2016. What the hell? Yeah, I believe it is early digital synthesis. That would have been one of those big room things again. Let's see. Discovering Digital FM, John Chowning. Oh, a Wikipedia article. Just give me a date. Give me a date. And no, it's not Wikipedia. I'm seeing Yamaha logos all over this thing. No. Let me get a year. Get a year. Get a year. Liza, maybe you can do this so that the host doesn't have to.
Okay, so what are we looking for? What are we looking for?
The date of John Chowning's first article on FM synthesis. And it's spelled Chouning.
Heavy.
First article on FM synthesis.
Do, 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 do.
Because this sounds a lot like John Chowning's music, too. The timbres.
Well, quick question. Is FM synthesis specifically a digital
Yep.
synthesis thing?
I mean, when John Chowning wrote this article, yes, it was at that point. Not specifically. You can modulate frequency in analog, obviously. But in the digital world, that's when they started, at that time, because of the limitations of oscillators and computing power, they needed to try to find other ways of creating richer timbres. And so to save on oscillators, that's a way of doing it, because you use a modulating oscillator to distort a carrier oscillator, creating sidebands and a richer spectrum, as opposed to additive synthesis where you're just adding all these different oscillators together, or subtractive synthesis where if you want a rich spectrum, you're talking like sawtooth waves, or noise if you want something a little different than that. This was just another approach, because with like sawtooth and noise, like if you take noise and carve it up with some filters, there's only so much you can get in variety there. With distorting a signal with frequency modulation, you can get
He
more
worked.
variety.
He worked with Yamaha, and the first product to incorporate FM algorithm was the GS1 in 1981.
Oh.
That's what Wikipedia
Okay.
says, though.
Well, I mean, that would be the first commercial release. I was just wondering when his article was. I mean, this maybe isn't FM. I mean, it may not be FM, but it sounds a lot like it. But anyway, yes, we're getting sidetracked, folks. Let's get back to what we're doing.
Well, it's not sidetracked. This is what
Oh,
earworms
that
is
never
about.
happened.
Yeah.
Yes, Earworms is all about these side quests. So anyway, I still think that was digital, but it may or may not have had FM synthesis in it. But those bell tones, the glass tones, sounded digital to me. So anyway, while he's playing that, and I wish I could play more because it's actually a pretty cool little piece of music. We're seeing the faces of the other crew members as the music plays, and a little bit of outdoors. It was a pretty cool moment of the film, hearing that music and seeing that, the different scenes. But anyway, the idea is it's just glass bottles playing, but it really isn't. They're synthesized. Talby's up there. And there we go. Back to Doolittle. And
In the bubble.
yeah, he joins Talby in the bubble. And there's a good look at Talby coming up through his crotch. And there they are. Yeah. So Doolittle joins Talby and asks him, you should come down now and then and join us in the rest of the ship. It'd be a good change of pace. And Talby's like, no, ever since Commander Powell died, I've just been enjoying it up here. It's too confined down below. I'd rather be up here. So he's in the observation dome, basically, is where he likes to be. And they mentioned their important fact. It's says we've been traveling, I think it's like 15, 16, maybe 17 years. And they've only aged 3 years. Maybe. But they only aged 3 years.
3 years.
Because they're traveling at hyper speeds and stuff like that. So they're aging slower. And basically, that is stuff that is kind of been theoretically found to be true as a concept, that if you travel close to the speed of light, time for you slows down, and for others not traveling at near the speed of light, time continues as usual. So basically, people that go on a trip will hardly age, and when they come back, their loved ones would all be deceased. So that's something else to think about. These guys are already pretty much mentally distraught as it is. But anyway, Doolittle tells a little tale about his, what do you call it, his life, where he's from Malibu and he loves surfing. And he really wishes he had a surfboard with him. At least he could wax it. And that's how this scene ends. Doolittle saying, at least I could wax it. Interesting line. So it was a cool moment seeing them chat like that.
It was a moment.
Yeah, it was a good stoner
Moment. It's a moment. Yeah.
Now, Pimpack
It was
can
a
be a little bit
heartwarming moment.
square. Even
There's
though
the stoner.
Pimpack is a little square, he does like to lay out and sun himself under some not sun. There we go. So Pinback's hanging out there like that.
Elton John glasses.
Oh yeah. If only they were heart shaped.
Yeah.
I guess those are more like John Lennon, I guess. But
No.
so anyway,
Those are way Elton John.
Anyway, Boiler comes down and he's dragging a metal plate and he's dragging it over here, and Pinback's wondering what he's doing, but he's just dragging a metal plate there, and he's going to find out in a moment because Boiler gets out a gun, and that kind of takes Pinback aside. Even though he lays there, even though he looks cool, he's not very cool. He's really worried about this. It's like you should only use that in emergencies. But Boiler's like got the gun out and he's going to do some target practice. And he's shooting at this plate, this metal plate. You see him aim and takes a shot at a plate, and he does hit it. So as you see, Boiler has a little bit more of, shall we say, aggressive, violent tendencies, and Pinback is he's not comfortable with that. You know, he wants him to stop it right now. But fortunately, they are both kept from having an argument by the ship's computer that announces that it's time for Pinback to feed the alien. They do have an alien on board. Pinback doesn't want to do it. He doesn't feel like it, but the computer reminds him, this is your idea. You got this alien. You thought it would be a great mascot for the ship. So Boiler goes on doing target practice, and Pinback has to go feed the alien. Now, Liza, I think I hear your breath about to speak.
Oh, I don't know. My friends, they spend a huge chunk of this movie with a beach ball and this guy trying to catch it. It was boring. It was the most boring trying to be funny skit I've ever seen.
Now, you have to admit that elevator scene was suspenseful.
It was not. I was waiting for you know what?
This scene pretty much sucked.
The
I gotta agree
entire
with Liza
movie,
on that. This one.
Mike. Yes, the entire movie. I was waiting for the story to begin. That's what I was waiting for, and it never happened, and that upset me. That upset me so much.
There was a story, man. I mean,
you know, I am relieved about one
Like,
thing. There was no love story in this.
well, you couldn't really put one in.
Oh, every other frickin' movie finds a way. One way or another, they slip some kind of damn romance thing in the movie. So there's my one redeeming quality
I
of this
don't know.
movie.
You remind me of some Paul Simon lyrics. Romance is a heartbreaker.
Wait, what? Which Paul Simon song is that?
It's from his.
Some movies got to have a damn love story in it. Can't we have a movie without a love story? Here it is.
Yeah, it's from Paul Simon. It's called "You're the One" from the album that's the same name. It's an album from the '90s, so it's not super popular, but it's an awesome album.
Well, I
Paul
like Paul
Simon,
Simon.
You're the One. Yeah, You're the One. That's an awesome album.
You're the
Great
one.
percussion. Yep. And great writing. His lyrics are awesome on that. So anyway, back to Pinback,
Was
who
Paul
is
Simon in any movies? We should do
yes,
something with Paul Simon in it.
yes. Oh, we
Yeah.
probably could. There you
We
go.
There you
We
we
go.
probably
need
could.
to. Not this kind of stuff. More Paul Simon. More
Okay.
Grateful Dead. How about that?
Well, wait till you
There
actually
was the
see
concert
them.
in Central Park. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't know about doing live concerts. we
Or we could or we could actually do Amadeus like we were supposed to.
We go down
I need
and yeah.
time. I'm still reading this book on Mozart, man. I really got to
Pressure,
have him. But
pressure,
now that being
pressure.
said, I do realize Amadeus has nothing to do with the life of Mozart too much, except for names. Other than
Yes.
that, it doesn't really have anything to do with him.
No. Well, that's the thing.
Amadeus.
I could take it. I mean, there wouldn't be too much pressure on you because I'd have to give the history about the morality
Wouldn't be
play.
pressure on me. Oh,
Oh, pressure.
you try dealing with EV Mux.
Yeah, well.
Poor.
I
Well,
think we're all
Pinback.
over EV Mux.
Well, Pinback is yelling at something on the wall. I guess that's some sort of radiant life form that's there. I don't know. But anyway, he talks to that and says, "Get out of here." It doesn't really, but it just moves away. And then eventually we see the alien. And you are correct. It does resemble a beach ball.
It is a beach ball. It is a beach ball.
It's got
They didn't
feet.
try to hide it.
Painted to look like a
it-
rotten tomato.
It's got feet.
It's a beach ball. Look at this. They're laughing at you for
Who's
buying a
laughing at me?
ticket to go see whomever produced this. They were laughing at everyone who bought a ticket to see this. It's like, look at these suckers. We're gonna make them watch 30 minutes of some guy chasing a beach ball as if it were an alien. Come on. No.
It wasn't. I don't know if it was that long, but
It was a long time. Mike, Mike knows the time.
This scene was drawn out way too long. I was
well,
like,
Yes.
yeah. Well,
and
well, it
kill
does
the
get.
damn beach ball.
So anyway, he's he tries to feed the alien, and the alien's not interested in the food that he's feeding it. So he bends over and says, "Well, suit yourself." And he's about to go away, and then the alien
And the beach ball. Because
jumps
it is
on the
a beach
locker.
ball.
It jumps on the locker, and behind him, and he brings a broom because I don't know. I guess he decided he wanted to inflict some harm on the alien, and he brings this broom out, and it's hard to describe. The alien does seem to go after him a little bit. Oh, I have something here. 11. We gotta play a little bit of 11.
Oh no.
We need clips, Beans. People don't.
Oh
want
boy, we
just
get to see the
sides.
rotten tomato.
Well,
I mean,
first,
again, this sort of thing could have worked with Terry Jones or John Cleese, but not with these guys. No. I don't know.
I don't know. There's a certain magic about Dan O'Bannon. Not David, but Dan O'Bannon. All right, so I missed this clip. This is where we get to hear the alien. It sounds like synth at first, and then it sounds like tape effects. Basically, this is where the cutter came in because they had to record some voice on tape, and then speed it up. That's the synth.
When I brought you on the ship, I thought you were cute.
Now here's the tape.
All right, soup's on. We didn't have none of the other stuff. Here, eat it. Eat it. Take it or leave it.
Okay. I don't know about you, Beans, but I'm reading it.
I think what Scott said is probably more true. Astronauts on acid in outer
Yeah.
space.
In outer space, yes. I think the audience also
I
had
see
to be
Owsley
on
in the
acid as
credits?
a requirement. Who?
Owsley.
Owsley. I gotta look.
Owsley?
I gotta look this
The
up, Mike.
LSD King.
Oh, I thought that was Dennis. No, not
Yeah.
Dennis. Timothy Leary. Dennis Leary. Timothy Leary, I thought was the LSD king.
Yeah, well, they both were.
All right. Well, here's some more beach alien.
Owsley Stanley was famous
Beach ball.
where they Grateful Dead got all their LSD, which would really help this scene.
Me too, Flav. I think it would make all of life amusing.
What would LSD?
I
Well,
think that's
whatever
what
he's
they
like,
were handing
he'd
out.
like whatever the producers of this film were having because they thought it was great, and maybe I would see the greatness in if I were having some of whatever they were having. Perhaps
They ain't
I
smoking
don't know.
cigarettes on that ship, I'll tell you.
Well,
Yes.
well, there you go. You got a little taste of the alien, but actually, we're not done because, yeah, he goes out. He has a broom, and he's like, "Oh, they're staring each other down." Um, there we go, and he actually gets attacked by the alien. You know, there he was trying to reach out to it, and there he has its mouse. Here's your pet mouse, and the alien eats it. And Pinback doesn't like that. He thinks that's just stupid. And so they're staring each other down still. And Pinback actually got bit by the alien, I think. And beach balls, as far as I know, don't bite. So it's a little bit more than a beach ball. He's got a broom, and the alien takes him down. Alien puts him on his back and runs away.
I think this was a 30-minute scene. My gosh. I mean, there multiple chapters of this fight with the beach ball thing. Next, we're gonna go into an elevator shaft and what? But there was another scene before the elevator shaft, and then we move into the elevator shaft, and then we move into a laser room. It's
Way
fast forward.
too
Okay, all right. So he's traveling through
long.
he's traveling through the ducks there, and so we're gonna load up 13 here. Oh man, I don't know, Beans. You're not really selling the movie to people here.
No.
I didn't know we were
I'm
supposed to.
saving them an hour of their life. I'm
It's-
giving it back to them.
Well, it is free on Amazon Prime right now. That's how Mike saw
Do
it.
not do it.
Thank
Do not
God.
do it.
So here we are. Oh, great synth work here.
I'm sure they were, Scott. They lost their prestige for a while.
What prestige?
Their social prestige.
Yes, I just thought I'd play that because that was some pretty good synth work.
It was good synth work.
I like that part. The so anyway,
The music was
Sounds
totally
were
appropriate
cool,
to
but
the movie.
I mean it isn't
it's no Flash Gordon. I know that.
it is absolutely no Flash Gordon, and I had problems with Flash Gordon. I prefer watching Flash. I think Flash Gordon compared to this is a masterpiece beyond belief, you know. It doesn't bother me that you know, there were some problems in the film and that what do you call this, the Queen got lazy in the score and stuff. That's not a problem anymore. This is far worse than that. Oof,
Well,
it's painful.
excuse me. I'm sorry.
Well,
but
we can't do Star Trek 4 every week.
Flash
Or maybe we
on.
could.
He's so wonderful.
Well, after crawling through the dark, we see the beach ball.
Sorry,
Well, the
guys.
alien is out there in the laser room. Well, actually, that's the what do you call that? The airlock. Yeah, basically the airlock, and that's where the communications laser is. And it was out there fooling around, and it did something here where it basically triggers the bomb again, and that actually disrupts our little hunt of Pinback hunting the alien, because he does set off the bomb there. Um, and we should see that shortly, I think. Oh no, that comes up later. But yeah, he was messing with the control room there. That comes up later. But yeah, this is the famous elevator scene. And so we have the
Oh.
alien there on the left. The handler of the alien off, off camera there. Good positioning. And there's Pinback. He finds himself in an elevator shaft. So I'm going to move through this a little faster because I feel like you guys are like maybe not enjoying the whole processional approach to this. Oh, that's right. We have to go to the next set of slides. At least we are halfway through.
No. How much
Eh,
more?
We're 50 slides into this. We'll be halfway through. So anyway, we are in this elevator shaft, and at some points you do hear some air, like almost wind. It was funny. I guess that was to give you, as the audience, the sense of height here, because there really isn't. There shouldn't be wind, but anyway, there we go. And the alien is starting to bother him. He's trying to kick the alien aside so he can get out of the shaft. The alien's not letting him do that, and the alien jumps him. Good direction there. That
Bayona,
I gotta agree
I
with
think
him on that.
Bayona may be right about this.
what?
He may be right about this.
I can't see it. What is it?
This is not worse than the Star
That
Wars
it's worse
holiday
than
special.
the Star Wars
Oh, yes.
holiday
Okay.
special. I think it's far worse. Yeah. At
Yeah.
least with the Star Wars holiday special, we had even in horrible context, we had characters that we liked and we could laugh about certain things. I can't laugh about this.
I thought it was funny because you could kind
Well,
of
we might
see
be better off
there
if we
on.
get out of this scene.
Yes, but you will laugh
right.
at people clapping coconuts and pretending like they're riding horses. I mean,
Well, that's Monty
not
Python, the
everybody.
Holy Grail. That's a completely different beast than the Star Wars Holiday Special and this.
Wait.
Yes, but
Are
the
we
point
dishing
being
Monty
is that you'd
Python?
laugh at that, and I again with some Monty Python things, but somehow they make more of that type of humor work than this beach ball type of thing. I don't know. They know how to make it work, but sometimes for some people it falls flat. I don't know. It's a Cuban thing, maybe. I don't know.
Look at this here, man. You don't see anybody maneuvering the beach ball. It's right on him. It's right on him. How did they do that? Movie magic. So anyway, he's the beach ball was. The alien has been trying to, get him to fall and stuff like that, and now he's out in the shaft, and the elevator starts moving. The computer announces it. You should get out of the elevator shaft for your safety. Now she doesn't know that he's there. That was just your normal safety announcement, and he's trying to get out. He's trying to climb up. I mean, I thought it had good tension, but he's not able to make it. And fortunately, there is some sort of safety precautions on the elevator. It doesn't crush his hands, but it starts pushing him. It starts pushing him, and to the point where he loses grip, but fortunately catches on to the bottom of the elevator. And this is where I thought, this is going to turn into a horror film, but it didn't.
It kind of does. It kind of does with the macabre scene with the dead body. And I thought that was pretty disgusting, though. I was like, ooh.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Now the alien's back in the airlock, and he's going to mess up some things and set off the bomb. Before, I guess he was just looking around in there, but he didn't set it off yet. And there we go. There's the communications laser in the airlock. That's where you keep them.
I agree, Mike. Yep.
Sorry, I had to switch tabs because I realized I wasn't hearing Mike because our communications laser is broken too.
I wasn't talking, I was typing.
Oh, shit. Guys. All right. So anyway, the bomb's coming out. I'm gonna let's rocket through these here. All right.
Always cutting in and out makes it hard to talk, man.
The bomb's coming out because this guy set it off. Maybe that was some commentary on what the audience might be like. They made the alien a rotten tomato. There's the bomb's control screen, as you see. And Talby's up there. He notices it, and he's like, what's going on here? And the computer also notices it, I believe, at some point. Well, but Talby tells Doolittle about it. I think there's something going wrong. There's the bomb coming out.
My friends, you just got a super chat from Flav.
Oh, thank you, Flav. He probably, that'll help me out with the heart medicine. Yeah.
Well, Flav says, just want to say your subs dropped below 1K, and when I reloaded, no super was available. Pop back in when I reloaded. YouTube is pony. So might be nonsense, but
well,
heads up.
the subs don't have to be at 1K. It's got to be above 500. We've had super chat availability for a long time. Common people helped us out a bit. Of course, yourself, Flav. Thank you for your kind donation.
You, Flav.
And
thank you so much. I wish we had a better film for you today, Flav.
Yeah. And so if it wasn't letting you send super chats, it's not because of the sub count. On YouTube, 1,000 threshold is for ad revenue. 500 is for super chat. So that wouldn't have been it. It was probably just saying, no, you don't want to put your money into this. These people can't
it's
even.
Not for this, Flab. Can't save your money, Flab.
But
thank you, Flab.
We would not be adverse, anybody listening, we would not be adverse to be getting above that 1,000 threshold, at least to feel like, wow, we have 4 digits now.
I was wondering what you meant by pony, Flav. Okay, cool. Understood.
Yeah.
My Little Pony. All right, so here's the computer. Computer's telling the bomb, look, bomb, you need to get back in. This is not right. There's something wrong with the communications laser, something like that. I forget the exact wording, but she's telling the bomb once again, you need to get back in. And the bomb's like, hell no. This is, it's like, nevertheless, my programming says it is time to blow up. And it's like, no. This is, that was an error, the false alarm, go back in. And so she's trying to tell the bomb to go back in, and he's arguing with her. And it's actually kind of funny, the dialogue between these two.
Do you think they didn't give the bomb the voice of Hal due to licensing issues?
Well, they gave it a different personality completely.
Because I think they had to, but I think the jokes would have landed better if it would have sounded like Hal.
Because at one point she's like, get back in, and she's like, no, it's like completely.
It would have been funnier if it's like, I can't do that, Dave, or something like that.
Well, a quote like that would have been, I guess, a little much.
Well, like I said, they probably couldn't license it.
Plus, her name's not Dave; she's the computer.
Yes, but you know what I'm saying.
Well,
something like that would work.
She convinces the bomb to go back in, and it's like, all right, but this is the last time. Very important. The bomb does say this is the last time. Or for now, something like that. Something like saying, all right, this time I'll do it, but So it's like one of those things where that better not happen again. So anyway, they're back to their chat. I'm not sure what's said at this point. I forget. But it was a heart-to-heart chat. Maybe that's when he mentions the surfboard. I don't know. But anyway, back to the elevator. Joy. So dangling in the elevator. And I assume at the bottom there is a mattress or something pretty thick for his fall, in case he should fall as an actor. But anyway, he notices there's a bottom flap there, or a door or something. It's screwed in. What do you call those things? Thing on the bottom of the elevator. Yeah. Well, it's there. He's unscrewing that. He figures, let's crawl up into the elevator to get out of this mess. And yeah, it actually is pretty cool. Kind of suspenseful. It really has you on the edge of your seat.
It doesn't.
He's holding himself by one
Somebody
arm.
die, damn it.
He's dangling by one arm.
Blood.
I was just waiting for the scene to end and for the movie to begin. It's like, what's this movie about? I'm sorry, guys. I need a story. I need a story.
Well,
That guy gets caught in an elevator.
he's not that fat. That's the thing.
Apparently his ass is.
Yeah. Well, he's got that hourglass shape at the bottom there. So he's not able to get through there. There's a red phone on the wall. He's finally able to reach it, get it, and it's out of order, unfortunately. Computer says, I'm sorry, this phone is out of order. Oh, no. So he sees a keyboard there on the wall, and he starts hitting a key. Yeah, he just hits any key, I think. And it says, oh, you've decided to clean the elevator. That's good. Oh, no. He hit the music system. We're about to hear some music. Oh, yeah. What is this? Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is not John Carpenter. This is a musical selection by not Mozart either. This is a Romantic era composer.
For your listening enjoyment,
Rossini.
we now present The Barber of Seville by Rossini.
I mean, he should have been able to fit through there.
I don't know. Maybe he's got those
He's
hips.
pretending not to be able to fit through there. He could fit through there.
Well, all right. Let's go
He
on.
should have made it less obvious. God.
They should have had some prosthetic hips for him. So anyway, yeah.
Well, not a problem. This is not a problem they had to manufacture. It didn't add anything to the film.
Well, I guess in your opinion, the film didn't add anything to the film.
Yeah.
Well, he was able to hit a button to discharge the bottom plate, and so that's going to happen. And this is when I thought it was going to get gory, but fortunately, it did not. It just got smoky. So he was able to get up out of the elevator, and it goes on. The hunt goes on for the alien, and it says antiseptic kit, right? But what I read in Wikipedia.
Anesthetic kit.
Oh, anesthetic?
It's anesthetic kit.
Gun.
Oh, anesthetic. Oh, that
Gun.
makes more sense. Yeah, it's a dart.
Gun, not kit.
Well, I'm completely wrong then. Antiseptic kit and it's an antisthetic gun. Well, that makes a lot more sense then, because that's what he does. He shoots the alien with a dart, because nobody would want him to shoot it with a real gun. Maybe just put it to sleep, calm it down a little bit. But unfortunately, it's a dart and it punctures the alien, and eventually the alien
Unfortunately, it's
just
a beach ball.
it just starts flying around the room with the air all being let out of it. And I think that's where we get to the end of this set of slides. So we are moving on.
Yeah, Tribble it was not.
It was not a tribble. Now those were real believable aliens.
And
How
they were
about that?
cute.
How about that alien from what episode was that? The Enemy Within, season 1. I think it was like episode 3 or 4. The
Wait a
alien,
second. I'm trying to. The
you
enemy
know,
within. It's familiar. Can you describe the alien?
Ruff,
Oh!
ruff, ruff.
Oh yes, the Sulu alien. I mean the alien that Sulu was holding.
Yep.
The dog in the costume.
Ruff.
I would
Yeah.
have preferred that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And Sulu sold me on that alien. It really felt like they were afraid of it.
Yes, he did.
And Spock really, nailed it.
mhm.
In that scene when it was rabid and going
They did
nuts.
call it the creature.
Yes. It was a cute creature, but it was a creature nonetheless.
Now I think
Dangerous
this
creature.
scene is all lighting, man. That's some movie magic right there. Okay, so anyway, we see the exterior shot, and then here's Pinback. He's coming back, and he's telling the guys that, hey, it was funny how it was full of gas, and he's surprised by that. And well, anyway, these guys are getting their lunch. Chicken, no ham. So anyway, they got ham sandwiches, and now this is where the dialogue got a little bit weird audio wise, because Pinback is talking there, and you can tell the other guys are bored, and they start looking at each other and talking to each other. But the audio of Pinback while they were talking to each other sounded too distant for what it was. But anyway, I might be just splitting hairs. Talby comes down, and he's got a what kind of hairdo is that? I don't know. That's Talby's hair. Okay. So anyway, Talby comes down and he goes into the computer room. We'll find out why later. But these guys are just there talking and trying to ignore Pinback, I guess. Boiler's talking to Doolittle about how he was. He mentioned this like 4 years ago, didn't he? And you could see how they're just kind of over time they're just kind of getting bored or something. And Pinback keeps talking, but the audio is weird. He sounded too distant for where he was. But anyway, that's just one little complaint from me. Back to the computer room, and Talby's there, and he's looking at these excellent graphics here. These are awesome. And he's looking through, and basically he decided to come down on a hunch. And he's the one that finds out that, there is something not working right. And we see these excellent graphics. I got to go back to that. Excellent graphics. And, well,
They
that
needed
was a
you in
model.
1975 to sell the movie.
Alrighty. And so he actually radios over to the other guys and tells them that he thinks that there's a malfunction. And I don't know. They don't seem to be really too worried about it.
What I
But,
want to know is, are they acting bored or are they really bored?
I don't know.
It might be like, is this about over yet?
Yeah. Well, we're working on it. I'm powering through, but I got a job to
No,
do.
them.
I got to do it well.
I'm talking about them.
I'm going to talk about every damn slide I
Oh
got.
no, Mike. Mike, I think the actors were bored too. You could tell.
That's what
Look at
I'm
that.
talking.
Well, at this point, Boiler does ask, "What is
Talking
Talby's
about
first name?"
the
He
actors.
yes. What is Talby's first name? And
Nobody
He
knows.
forgot his first name.
yeah, well, Doolittle says,
Yeah.
"What's my first name?" And then Boiler thinks about it. He thinks about it. They think about it. Oh, I'm going back and forth. They think about it a lot. They really,
Oh, Scott.
they think about
Scott
it a
hit it
lot.
on the head.
What did
He
Scott
got
say?
it. He said method acting wasn't necessary
Right.
here. It wasn't.
Look, he's
Was
got a
not.
freaking
This is
8-track.
natural.
A freaking 8-track,
Ooh.
man.
Really? Is that what that is?
That's what it looks like.
Oh,
Huh.
I thought it was smaller.
The 8-tracks? No, cassettes were smaller. That's about the size of an 8-track.
Yeah, 8 tracks look more like cartridges.
Oh,
I guess they
like
kind of were.
Nintendo cartridge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they had the
Okay.
tape on the
Yeah.
inside, but
8-tracks went over about as good as the movie did.
I remember I bought one 8 track in my life. It was at a Goodwill. I think it was in the 80s. I bought one at Goodwill, and it was Billy Joel's 52nd Street.
There was a reason 8-tracks died out.
What was
What?
that?
They sucked.
Oh, it did. Compared to tape?
They were worse than cassettes.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess functionality didn't work well. Although, I don't think I ever played that Billy Joel 8
Yeah.
track.
I mean, I remember, I mean, tape was around for a long time. I remember recording onto tape until my college days.
Well, you can
you know,
still get
undergrad.
cassettes.
Yeah.
You
I
can't get.
still own cassette in a cassette player. Yeah.
Well, 8-tracks would have never lasted this long.
I'm trying to get through it. You guys keep diverting me. All right, so anyway, Pinback's in here doing his own log and basically looking at his things he's recorded in the past. And this is where he mentions that he's not really Pinback. His name is Bill Frug or Frood, something like that. And that Pinback's underwear never fit him. So anyway, just a number of little scenes, I guess, to flesh out the character of Pinback. Basically, he's the one that feels like the odd man out. The other guys make fun of him or forget his birthday, and he really felt bad when Powell died. He never really had the same respect for Doolittle, all sorts of things. And of course, they used the delete sign to show censors and censored his gesture there as well. But there you go. That was Pinback's little time alone. Another exterior shot. Talby's not up there anymore. He's down in the computer room. Or no, I think he went back. Yeah, I think he... No, he didn't. No, he didn't. That's right. He has to go to the airlock. So anyway, we see a reading there from the bomb and stuff. And it's basically been put together that, yeah, there's an issue with this laser, and that is why they're having so much trouble. And I'm having trouble because I don't know. I just do. That's my job. Here we go. Number 16. We are going to hear. Looks like we missed one. Number 15 was never played, but I could play it right now just for the hell of it. And then we'll go to 16. We're going to do 15 and 16. And so, because I wouldn't want to miss any of the music.
Foreshadowing is Halloween.
That's why I had it in there. I called it Carpenter's Ditty.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. A little bit of foreshadowing there. That's when, what's his name? Talby was walking down. But anyway, there you got a taste of it. And that, yeah, anybody out there, that's probably where you've heard of John Carpenter before. If you have, is Halloween, his most famous movie. And he did the theme for that too. And so now, let's play the clip I was going to play. Random number generation. I love it. Which you could do with analog,
How?
and of course now with digital as well.
How can you do it with
Alrighty,
analog?
we are back to our slides.
Wait, hold on. How did they do random tone generation with analog back then?
All right, I heard half of what you said because when I switch scenes, I lose your audio.
Oh,
You mind saying that again?
can you hear me now?
I can. I
How
just
they
had
do random tone generation on analog back then?
basically different CV values, control voltage values.
All right.
I'm not sure what the electrical component is that did it, but it would just put out almost randomized CV values within a range. Or I see like some drawings of what's called sample and hold, like things where it would go to one value, hold it, and then go to another and another and another. In the computer world, of course, it's not really random. It's just like numerical values in a semi-random order that are like pre-made.
According to AI, transistors, random number transistors are used in hardware random number generators to create random numbers.
Okay.
I didn't know there were special transistors to do that. Let me see. Ah. Yes. Cryptosistors, they are called.
Ooh,
Interesting. Okay. Cool beans.
cool. Cryptosistors.
Yes.
Well, anyway,
Interesting.
back to these guys. So what we saw there also was, I guess, some sign of an issue. The bomb's coming out again. Oh, lovely. And he said before, you know, this is the last time I'm going back in. So the bomb really means it now. Pinback's talking to it, trying to get it to stop, and the bomb's like, "No, no, this time I'm doing it. This time I'm doing it." Pinback keeps arguing, but it's nope. Basically I forget the dialogue, but I remember no was a big part of it. So anyway, here's Talby. He's going to try and fix the problem because he's the only one that seems to care at this point. And although the other guys are going to care real soon. So anyway, well, actually they should care right now because the bomb's saying, I'm not going to go back in. I'm going to blow up. And here we are looking at the laser. There's his toolkit. And that's this, when he set down this toolkit, that's when I realized they have gravity on this ship somehow. And there's no rotating section or anything. I'm wondering how they achieved gravity. They don't have magnetic boots either, as far as I can tell. But anyway, there we go. He's working on the laser and is able to get it into a test mode whereby it kind of shoots into the airlock for some reason. Oh, here he's talking to Doolittle about, the problem, but Doolittle's just telling him to shut up, which is rude. And the bomb is still there. It wants to blow up. Pinback is not having any luck. Yeah, I think that's the point where it actually quite quickly just said, "No, I'm going to blow up." Back to the laser, fixing it, trying to. But it gets into a test mode and it's going to shoot into this triangular shaped portal. And the computer says, "Do not step into the laser." So Talby steps back and does not step into the laser. And so the laser's doing its thing. They're still talking to the bomb, trying to get it to, you know, stand down, deactivate itself. But it's not doing it. And a spark goes off. There's a spark. There's a bit of a problem. And that kind of blinds Talby with the bright light for a little bit. The lasers kind of separate. They're no longer parallel. And Talby can't see what he's doing. And he steps into the way of the lasers. And that does not help things. There we go. And the bomb's still going to do it. And in fact, there's a bit of a shock there. And what's going to happen is now the bomb is kind of stuck. They can't even release it. So it kind of makes matters worse. You know, before they're kind of preparing the bomb. Oh, I think this is where the bomb. Oh, shoot. I was screwing up this whole time. Before, that was them preparing the bomb for launch. Now, after Talby stepped into the lasers, now the bomb is stuck there and it's going to blow up anyway, even though it's stuck. Okay, I get it. Sorry about that. I should stop with the play-by-play shit.
Well, you'd be interested to know that random number transistors became available around 1950.
Good. If I ever travel back in time, I'll keep that in mind.
Yes.
Because there'll be at some point where I'm in the 50s. And it'll be good to know that I have the ability to use a random number transistor. So, there's Talby on his back. And now they're really upset because now it is true. The bomb is stuck there. It cannot be let go of. The bomb is going to explode, and Pinback's trying to talk it out of that. And what everything I said before is now true now. And so he's trying to get it to let go, and it won't. Yes, Doolittle was rude before. Oh, here we go. I was going too fast. Doolittle decides, all right, I don't know what to do about this. Pinback is not able to get it to stand down, so I'm going to talk to Commander Powell. And this is Commander Powell. He's in cryogenic stasis. He's being frozen. I had to look that up on Wikipedia to know because they didn't actually call it cryogenic freezing. You just see him kind of looking frosty and cold. But yeah, that's what it is. It's basically he's dead but not dead. I don't know. He's got a microphone. He's talking to Powell. And first thing Powell wants to know is how the Dodgers are doing. But Doolittle says, this bomb's going to blow up. We don't really have time. Can you hurry up? And then he wants to know how the Dodgers are doing. And Doolittle says, well, the Dodgers disbanded like 15 years ago. And that was probably before Powell died, but Powell didn't remember anymore. But anyway, he's like saying, look, we got to handle this soon. The bomb is not disabling. Powell mentions some suggestion. He says, well, we tried that. It didn't work. And then Powell's like, oh, I don't know. I need to think about this for a while. And he does some thinking, and Doolittle's getting nervous. And then finally, Powell tells him, okay, there's one thing you can try. Phenomenology. And that's something you got to remember. Phenomenology is what you got to try whenever you have a bomb that you can talk to refusing to disarm itself.
Yeah, was anyone else deeply disturbed by this scene?
Oh, you mean the ice?
You mean the dead guy?
The talking dead guy.
Yeah.
Right here.
It was a little weird.
Yeah.
It was
was
a little weird. Weird and macabre for a movie of this character. I mean, context is very important, and when you break the feel of what you're trying to do with something like this, I mean,
Necromancy,
I-
man.
it wasn't their intent, I'm sure, to give the audience this much of the creeps, but there you have it.
Or maybe it was. These are college students. And one thing I know is going to these college student film festivals when I was a composer and actually did some music for them, I was like, well, I'm still a composer, but I don't do music for that anymore. But anyway, when I was doing that sort of thing, it's like all of them like horror.
Yeah.
All love horror.
But I mean, this guy wanted to do horror movies, you can
Well, he did.
tell.
He did. He
Yeah,
did
that's what
Yeah,
he
later
wanted
on.
to do. He didn't want to do.
you're floating through this movie. You weren't expecting necromancy. Like what?
No, but done in such a
Phenomenology.
way that's it was icky. I didn't like it.
Phenomenology. That's where he says it. And so, Pinback's
Three
still
thumbs
working
down.
on it.
Creepy. Ooh.
Dorsal airlock. That's the, that's the other airlock, not the one Talby's in.
So
But
so did they freeze this guy before he died, or was he dead and then somehow got a computer to work his brain every once in a while?
They never really say.
they don't say in the movie, and it doesn't say in Wikipedia either.
The yeah.
So,
They just
Doolittle's
threw
going
it
to
out
go out
there.
and do some phenomenology. There's the dorsal airlock.
Again, as I said earlier, this scene could have only worked with an actor like John Cleese.
It's John
It
Cleese
could have.
time.
Well, I mean, I could picture him having an argument with this thing and making it work, and just everything fell flat. Everything.
I don't know. Well, our audience gets to think for themselves because I actually have the entire conversation. We're going to do it in bits so we
Oh
don't get
God, no.
copyrighted, but I do have the entire conversation. And so we're going to find out now. This is the phenomenology.
Right.
Hello, Bob? Are you with me?
Of course.
Are you willing to entertain a few concepts?
I am always receptive to suggestions.
Fine. Think about this then. How do you know you exist?
Okay. Let's think about that. How do we know we exist? Why don't we think about that too a little bit here? How
Because
do
we
we know we
don't.
exist? I mean, we can't have a copyright, so we need to kind of play for time here a little bit, break things up a little bit.
Thank you, Scott.
Scott's still with us.
Okay, let's go on. I think we need
I
to
don't know how
rewrap.
much longer I'm going to last.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this. We're gonna wrap this up. But you will be happy to know. You will be happy to know that the Grateful Dead. Our audience did think that the Grateful Dead's music,
Yes.
the Dark Star, should have been in the.
What a great
film.
audience we have.
Yeah.
What the hell is he doing?
I think he's talking to it.
Well, of course I exist.
But how do you know you exist?
It is intuitively obvious.
Intuition is no proof. What concrete evidence do you have that you exist?
Well, I think, therefore I am.
That's good. That's very good. But how do you know that anything else exists?
My sensory apparatus reveals it to me.
Ah, right.
This is fun.
Now listen. Here's the big question. How do you know that the evidence your sensory apparatus reveals to you is correct?
Alrighty. So it's got to think about that. So we, in order to break this up a little bit, we are going to go back here to the slides and move forward. And what happens at that point where we just left off? Well, Talby's still on his back. And they're still starting to freak out. Well, actually, no, this is what happens. Boiler has an idea that he's going to get the gun and shoot the pins that's holding the bomb so that the bomb would fall away. Of course, they're in space and it's wait lists, and I don't know how well that would work, but you know, still that's his idea, and
Yeah, you assume that the
well, at
ship
least
has
maybe you could
inertial
float away,
dampers,
maybe
right?
you know, Doolittle could push it, whatever. So anyway, yeah, but Pinback doesn't want him to do it. He says, "You'll miss and blow us up," and so they have a fight. And I think it's been brewing the whole time. They were just basically fixing to have a fight. And we have our conversation going on outside. But this is where it's at. This is where what's really important is talking the bomb down with the phenomenology. And so here we go. Let us
Really,
continue
Scott?
our
Wow,
discussion.
I'm surprised.
And
What I'm getting at is this. The only experience that is directly available to you is your sensory data. And this sensory data is merely a stream of electrical impulses that stimulates your computing center.
In other words, all that I really know about the outside world is relayed to me through my electrical connections.
Exactly.
Why, that would mean that I really don't know what the outside universe is like at all, for certain.
That's it. That's it.
Intriguing. I wish I had more time to discuss this matter.
Why don't you have more time?
See, this is the only valuable part in the film. I would clip this out and show it to my students who are learning about psychophysics, but that's it.
yeah, well, how do we know what's going on? Man, yeah. How do we know what's going on? Everything comes through our five senses. Unless you got that sixth sense, then you maybe get a little bit more. And
I know nothing.
yeah, don't worry, Mike. We're going to be done soon.
Yep.
So anyway, they're still
I was
fighting.
doing my Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing.
I know
I see
nothing.
nothing. I know nothing.
Yeah. Actually, we do some classic TV now and then. Did they have any electronic music in that? What was that? Hogan's Heroes?
I don't know about electronic. Yes, they did invent a lot of stuff, but it was more about escaping.
Alrighty. Well, as we saw there was a fist fight, and Boiler gets punched by Pinback. So Pinback can handle himself. All right. We're going back to our phenomenology. I think I'm gonna keep saying that from now on. Phenomenology. All right, and we are on, what number are we on? Are we on 20? I think we're on 20. We got to get this conversation here, because this is important. This is important to all of us.
Now, Bomb, consider this next question very carefully. What is your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
And you can only do it once, right?
That is correct.
And you wouldn't want to explode on the basis of false data, would you?
Of course not.
Well then, you've already admitted that you have no real proof of the existence of the outside universe.
Yes, well,
So you have no absolute proof that Sergeant Pinback ordered you to detonate.
I recall distinctly the detonation order. My memory is good on matters like these.
Of course you remember it, but all you're remembering is merely a series of sensory impulses which you now realize have no real definite connection with outside reality.
True. But since this is so, I have no proof that you are really telling me all this.
Oh, didn't see that coming. He didn't see that coming. That is not good. That is not good. The strategy gets diverted there. Alrighty, so let's see here. Okay, so more bomb readouts. There's the gun on the floor because they were fighting, and yes, we get. I had to break this up. That's the whole point why I have the thing going back to the slides, because I didn't want to get copyrighted. Because if we have too much of it all in a row,
Now,
We
Bob,
yeah.
problem.
consider this next question
We should
very
not get
carefully.
Oh, we just did
copyrighted for
that.
this film.
Just did that. Let's move on. 21, and away we go.
That's all beside the point. I mean, the concept is valid no matter where it originates. So if you detonate Nate.
9 seconds.
You could be doing so on the basis of false data.
I have no proof it was false
You
data.
have no proof it was correct data.
I must think on this further.
Yay! And excellent synth work there as well for this theme.
Wasn't that quoted in The Brave Little Toaster?
What? What are you talking about? Brave Little Toaster?
You haven't seen that?
This is weird because I've never heard of the Brave Little Toaster until this week, because it was in one of the things I had to do. One of the tasks I was doing was a prompt from a user. I do a little bit of, well, not a little bit. I'm making a living doing AI training. And one of the user
Training
prompts,
the enemy.
yeah, well, one of the users prompts was write a story based on the Brave Toaster. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I was wondering, what the hell is this? The Brave Little Toaster. And that's the first I've heard of it. And now you mentioned it, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Because you're not a child of the 80s.
Oh, I guess not. Yeah, okay. What is that?
A
Is that
young,
something
young,
like? Is that
youngling
something like
child of
that?
the 80s. It was a Disney film where appliances came to life and they're trying to get back to their original owner. And then, but the thing is that thing is almost exactly like a theme in the whatchamacallit, in the movie, with the same instrument playing it. It's weird.
Oh, well, good.
It's a rock song in the Disney film.
Good. There we
Wait,
go.
I think it's Disney. Let me double check on. I think it's
Yeah.
Disney. Brave.
I think that information would be valuable.
Toaster. Let me see. Is it Disney? Yeah, it's Disney. It's Disney. It is.
Okay. Well, Talby.
1987.
Okay, great. Yeah, that was the same year as Delicate Sound of Thunder by Pink Floyd.
That was the same year I saw the Grateful Dead at the Philly Spectrum 3 nights.
I was at the Spectrum once. Yeah, I saw Van Halen there.
There you go.
The Spectrum. I wonder if it still exists.
Well, I think it's Grateful Dead and John Cleese night here at the Earworms.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. 1987. I was in kindergarten. Yes.
Well, for those interested in this, basically Doolittle's going to come back in now that the bomb's retracted. But he has to come back in the other airlock, and when it opens up, Talby goes flying out. And Doolittle says, uh-oh, Talby flew out. I'm going to have to go after him with my jetpack. And he tells Pinback about it. And Pinback's like, huh? He doesn't really care. But anyway, Doolittle goes off to get Talby. And then they decide, okay, it's time to actually disarm the bomb. You know, they got it to retract back in. Doolittle did, but now it's time to disarm it. So Pinback is telling it to disarm itself. And the bomb says, no, you don't exist. And, well, actually, that happens after that, after this. So there we go. He's going off to get Talby. And Pinback says, hey, it's time to disarm yourself. And the bomb says, you don't exist. And then he says some really creepy stuff that's almost biblical. Except it was kind of reworded a little bit differently. He says, in the beginning, there was the darkness, and the darkness was the void, and I was in the void. And then he said, and then I crept on the face of something, but it was like, really, no, it's God's face was upon the waters, is what it is in Genesis. But he kind of like manipulated it a bit or whatever. But in any case, you got this sense that this bomb thought it was the only thing in existence. Or actually, he does say at the end, I'm the only thing that exists. So he is the God of himself in his own universe. And that's it. He's pure solipsism at that point. And Pinback's like, what? And then I guess the only thing he could do is say, let there be light. And he does. And of course, that kind of light is the kind of light that blows things up. And, you know, and I'm trying to get to it. I really shouldn't do this line by line slides because I forget the lines. There we go. There's the light. And that blows up the Dark Star. But there we go. Doolittle. No, I think that's Talby getting blown even faster away. There's the beautiful effects of blowing up. And Doolittle gets pushed the other direction. And Talby gets pushed the other direction. They're flying apart from each other. In fact, they mention that. Doolittle says, because Talby asks what happened, and it's like Doolittle says, the Dark Star blew up. He says, they're dead. And then Talby says, well, we're dead too. But Doolittle says, well, maybe not. Maybe there's a way. Kind of a cool line there, stoner line. Maybe there's a way. But it doesn't look like it. Talby's flying backwards. Doolittle's flying the other way. Oh, and there's Powell, frozen in ice. He's still intact, flying away. And yeah, Doolittle notices he's heading for this planet. And Talby tells him, well, you're just going to burn up in the atmosphere and die as a shooting star. How cool. What a way to go. And when you think about it,
Wait,
I guess.
I'll be back. One of the cats wants in.
Uh-oh. Well, and then, oh yeah, I forgot this when it came up. When they were talking in the bubble, Talby did mention the Phoenix asteroids. And he gets to see them now. And then he actually becomes a part of them. And he floats away as part of the Phoenix asteroids. So that's Talby's fate.
Aw, that was the heartwarming moment of the movie.
Yes. And the ladder or rigging, whatever it is, that's what Doolittle gets at the end as his consolation prize. And we get to play our last clip, which is the
Yay.
final thing
get
of
to
this
surf.
film. And this is the way in which we all can kind of say goodnight. In the words of Doolittle.
I've got a piece of debris, and I think I've figured out a way.
Yay.
Benson, Arizona, the warm wind through your hair. My body flies the galaxies, my heart longs to be there. Benson, Arizona, the same stars in the sky.
And
But they seem so much kinder when we watch them, you and I.
All righty then. So anyway, back into flex mode. I don't know. I like the film. And maybe because it reminds me of days of being in college and what, magic could be made, and the fun of having a film and what can be done with it, and trying to figure out how some things were done, and the some of the graphics and the computer screens, as well as the synthesizers, just bring back vintage, sounds and sights that I dig it. And especially the existential discussion with the bomb at the end. I don't know. I think it's cool. So I do encourage anybody, it's free on Amazon. Go check it out. And
Yeah.
don't worry, you're not going to have to see it again, Liza. Well, anyway, I guess we're going to have to be putting our friend Mike Gorley here to sleep because it is getting late. He has to get up early. and say 10-4 on the radio.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Cool beans, Mike.
Yes, I will say goodnight now. I've already said goodnight to our lovely audience. Good night, audience.
All right, Mike.
Good night,
Thanks for
Liza.
joining us.
Good night, Lawrence. Always fun.
And I might as well end the poll. I might as well end it before we say goodbye here. So yes, the Grateful Dead should have been in this.
Do we have a different closer today?
Of course.
Well, I was going to
With
play
a cameo by John Cleese.
I was going to play the extended version of our closer. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
it should be mentioned. We do want to say to our audience as we're signing off now. Oh, before I go, Alex Petty, if you're still out there, please email me. We got to set up. Maybe you could even come next week.
I don't think he is, but
All right. Well, I'll keep trying. Well, anyway,
we all told him we want him on the show.
we do want to point out now that we do realize there are some military equipment and blowing up stuff sort of things in our sign off of the national anthem. We just want to say, well, sorry about that. Last week when I looked at it, I saw it's like, people holding machine guns and all that stuff and the attack helicopters and stuff like that. I'm like, damn it, is this what is this what I wanted to sign off the show with? But I figure, you know what? I don't really have time to find something else, so I gotta keep playing our closers. But I think I'll just say, yeah, it's not really our style, but at least it has a synthesizer in it.
How did we end up with that closer?
Adam Gray gave it to me.
Yeah, but Adam collects like obscure film stuff. And it's like, why do we use it?
'Cause. All right, folks.
All right.
Good night.
all.
Good night, Mike.
Good night.
And good night, Liza. And I am going to say good night to me, too. And here we go.
Water. Just so many ways to enjoy it. Almost everyone swims through it, rides on it, or plays around it. It's fun. But accidents do happen. Many could be avoided. Still, others kept harmless. If people were safety-minded. Safety means having the right equipment and skills. Your Red Cross chapter can help with information and instruction. So give them a call and be safe.
This weekend on The Late Show, an attack of gnawing terror. 11:30 Saturday, Willard rules a powerful rat army.
You made me hate myself. Well, I like myself now. Tear 'em up!
Saturday, 11:30 Sunday, the rats are hungry again.
I want every train in this city examined. 1,150 miles of pipe?
Every inch of it.
Where Willard ended, Ben begins. Willard and Ben, two gnawing terrors on Channel 4 beginning at 11:30 on The Late Show.
And one of the most important things I learned is you don't become a star overnight. It really takes a lot of hard work to get there. Now what I want to do, Ronnie, is give you a few tips on defense. Now you're going to run a sweep around me and I'm going to try to stop you. You watch how I stop you.
He's no Larry Zonka, but he's a terrific big brother.
How did he do that?
Share yourself with a kid. Share yourself with a kid.
On Thursday, November 13th, CBS proudly presents a major motion picture event. Sylvester Stallone as the fighter whose whole life was a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. Talia Shire as the woman who loved him and believed in him. Winner of 3 Academy Awards. Rocky. Thursday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Tomorrow on CBS.
This concludes another day of programming on Channel 4. Before signing off, we'd like to invite you to start every day with WTVJ and enjoy a world of entertainment coming your way over Florida's pioneer television station, WTVJ, Channel 4, Miami. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.